Thanks. Welcome back. The creative industry is critical to the growth of our economy as we seek to build new forms of value and competitiveness. A new master's degree qualification seeks to improve the management and leadership skills as well as the talent of those working in the creative sector. To tell us more about the importance for artists equipping themselves with these skills, we're joined by award-winning musical artist Lira. Lira, very good morning to you. So great to have you with us on the Weekend Report. What an exciting opportunity. This MBA, one can now see how skills can grow and knowledge within those in your sector. Tell us more about this.
Thank you, and very good morning to you. Yes, I'm very, very excited. And I think, this MBA also legitimizes what we do because, as you rightfully said in the beginning, that music contributes very largely also to the country's GDP. So, it does make sense that we equip ourselves in terms of business as we continue to grow. And I think the biggest benefit is that we want to change the narrative or how the musician's story ends, We don't want musicians that kind of have a career that lasts a short time. And it's just to change the whole story about the musician, to create more sustainable careers, more successful careers, and more structured careers. So for me, I'm just very, very excited, and I think this is a sign of very great things to come.
When it comes to growth in the creative sector, I mean, you make mention of something very important about the longevity of an artist because, I mean, being creative is one thing, but being tasked or equipped with the administrative end is also another way to perhaps grow in other ways within the industry. How important do you think it is for artists to hone in on education and find ways to survive beyond the fame?
You see, that's exactly, for me, I've always been an advocate for this. I've always even felt like your basic education is so important because it trains your mind to think systematically and logically. So if you're creative, you sort of tend to be a bit more happy-go-lucky. But if you're looking for a more sustainable existence, you do need education. We live in a world that has a specific structure, and you've got to engage with the world as it is. And so education becomes the bridge in terms of that. And so when institutions like Genesis create an MBA like this, they're also sending out a message to say, okay, we're also willing to share everything we know about structuring a business, about being innovative, about, growing yourself as a brand, as a business in this current world with technology and all the changes that we're experiencing. It's wonderful that now we can marry our talent as well as develop our skills to create something totally new. The world is changing inevitably, and it is vital to couple it with education at this stage.
What lessons do you think could be learned with the current atmosphere? I mean, going into a hard lockdown, experiencing COVID-19, and at the same time, we saw artists wanting their funds that were due to them from government, speaking about not being able to work and not having the resources, perhaps the platform, to share their art. How important is it, this MBA, do you think, for a climate such as this, where, there need to be other ways of exploring and delivering your talent across the nations?
100%. I mean, you've said it just there. It's just, I think what musicians then realize is that you cannot rely on your music alone. And I feel if you want to really be financially free, for instance, you can't rely on one income stream. And the lockdown showed people that, if everything is shut down, then what do? Does that mean you're vulnerable? So you've got to now start thinking of other ways to create more sustenance or more other income streams that don't necessarily rely on your performances. And I think this is like evident now. It's very evident that it's necessary to start thinking a little outside the box, still using your creativity, but seeing how you can explore it in different directions, And I think those musicians that had built something in terms of their career and had built other avenues, other things that they were doing, were able to survive a little bit better than people who were solely relying on performances. And so it is, personally, it is my desire for every musician, every child, every parent that's got a child who's interested to go into the music industry to sort of be at ease, knowing that they can support their children. There are structures in place to give their children a better chance at making it in this industry. And I know what it's like to have a talent that nags at you. It nags at you. It doesn't allow you to sort of be at peace in your life. And so you need to know that there are skills and ways and means for you to hone and nurture your gift so that you can actually get a chance at making a good living out of it. And so for me, this is all this means, is that ultimately you have the right to pursue your passion. You have a right to do what you love with your life. And now, coupled with actual tangible skills, you actually have a better chance of making this a success. I'm just so excited.
In your excitement, what topics are you looking forward to exploring?
Well, actually, that's the first thing, because when I heard that there's a MBA for the creative industry, and mind you, it's not just for musicians, it's for people in PR, in film, in electronic media, in all kinds of arts, even journalism, even communication. So just anything that has a creative tinge to it, any career like that will benefit from this MBA. But that's the first thing I did. I was like, well, here I am. I'm Lira. I think I'm doing relatively well. Why would I want to do this MBA? And then once I saw the modules, I was like, oh my God, the kind of skills that I'll benefit from this are incredible. So there's things like business research, economics, which is obviously logical, but a very key and important aspect is emotional and spiritual intelligence. This blew my mind. Mm-hmm. Now, in the creative industry, you need that. You need good mental health, because a lot of us rely on the affirmation of the public in order to feel like what we do is of any value. When you feel like people don't like you, then you're sort of up and down emotionally. But there's also entrepreneurship, there's innovation, there's strategic financial management, there's marketing. So as you can see, it's very holistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very holistic. So there's certain things that I'm naturally adept to. I'm very good with numbers because of my educational background, obviously creative, but there's certain things that just don't come naturally to me. So this MBA for me allows me to cover so many areas that don't necessarily come naturally to me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All the best to you. Thanks for chatting to us, award-winning artist Lira. Speaking about the benefits of being a part of an MBA for those in the creative industry, talking about the power of knowledge when it comes to expansion and growth within the creative industry.